देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे स्वविघ्नस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदये आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति सूरया। Hare Krishna. So we were discussing the prayers of Karda Muni. So just go through the prayers once again, because this most important theme of this chapter. It starts from here, verse number 13. The great sage Kardama said, "O supreme worshipful Lord, my power of sight." Somebody can read rather than myself reading. Devotees can switch on their videos, and you all can try to read. Yes, Asha.
Yes. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Prabhu.
Yes, please.
The great Kardama said, "O supreme worshipful Lord, my power of sight is now fulfilled, having attained the greatest perfection of the sight of you, who are the reservoir of all existences. Though through many
successive births,
prepared to see your transcendental form."
Yes. So studying that it's the highest mercy of the Lord. When good fortune arises, one gets the darshan of the Lord, one gets the darshan of devotees. They get an opportunity to read Bhagavatam, hear Bhagavatam. This chapter is very, very important chapter, because this makes us understand where we are and where we have to go. Where we are and what should be our goal. The perfection is respected by Jushtam, the most excellent yogis who have perfected yoga by many births. So Chakravarti mentions. Yes. Next, Sachin Bro, please read.
Your lotus feet are the true vessel to take one across the ocean of mundane missiles. Only person deprived of their intelligence by the spell of the deluding energy will worship those feet with a view to attain the travel and momentary pleasures of the senses, which even persons floating in hell can attain. However, O my Lord, you are so kind that you bestow mercy even upon them.
Yes. So they are like, Potham, bewildered by your Maya, worship your lotus feet. Lotus feet actually is like boat, which is meant to take us from the material world to spiritual world. But because of my bewilderment, because of my own nature, I'm coming to you for a material desire, which can take me, potentially can take me to hell. But because I'm coming to you, I know you'll purify me and take me back to body. That we saw yesterday at length. Yes. Yashika Mataji, can you read this?
Therefore, desiring to marry a girl of like disposition, who may prove to be a veritable cow of plenty in my married life, to satisfy my lustful desire, I too have sought the shelter of your lotus feet, which are the source of everything, for you are like a desire tree.
Yeah. So all these verses are there, and Chakravarti has mentioned the dialogue, a discussion between Kardamuni and Lord. So here he's telling, though I criticize those with material desire. In last shloka, 14th shloka, Kardamuni criticized that people who have material desires, they generally go to hell. But even I am worshipping you for a desire. What is that desire? I want to marry a girl of like disposition. And like we have seen, although he's comparing here devotee to a cow and himself to a bull. And Prabhupada mentions about like disposition, how one should seek match seeking, other things Prabhupada mentions about Prabhupada. Is Jagan going through? Please read the next prayer.
O my Lord, you are the master and leader of all living entities. Under your direction, all conditioned souls, as if bound by rope, are constantly engaged in satisfying their desires. Following them, O embodiment of religion, I also bear oblations for you who are eternal time.
Yes. Although I'm having material desire, but because you are the leader, Nitya Nityanam, Chetana Chetana, Miko Bhuvanam, you Vidati Kaman, you fulfill my desire, but while fulfilling my desire, you're going to purify me. And this desire is not my desire, because your leader, you ordered to Brahma to create progeny, and I become an instrument to increase the progeny. And therefore, I'm also have my desire, but it is also your will. And therefore, I'm hopeful that by this, I'll purify my desire. And we had seen this shloka, important shloka. Lokam shalokanu pashumishcha hitva shitaste charanata patram parasparam tvad gunoadu siddhu piyush nirya pita deha dharma. That who else is there? Who's not read? Oh, so many devotees are having videos off. And when videos are off, I don't know what they're doing, but should I ask? Okay. Shironi Radhika Mataji, till the time they switch on their videos on, we can read.
Hare Krishna. However, person who had given up stereotyped worldly affairs and the beastly followers of these affairs, and who have taken shelter of the umbrella of your lotus feet by drinking the intoxicating nectar of your qualities and activities in discussion with one another, can be freed from the primary necessities of the material body.
Yes. So, although he is telling that it's order of Lord Vishnu, and he has given Brahma to increase the progeny, and Brahma has ordered Karna Muni to increase the progeny. He is telling that again. The Lord is asking question in this shloka to him. Okay, but their personalities like Kumaras and Narad Muni, they are not fulfilling their material desire. But what to do, my Lord? I am also having my material desire to have a girl of like disposition. So in this case, Lokan, persons who have given up stereotyped worldly affairs, Narada Muni and Kumaras, they have given a stereotyped worldly way of living, of getting married, begetting children, but they have just transcended it. Why? Because of their attraction to the lotus feet of the Lord. But in my case, this is what Chakravarti writes. But in my case, I have the desire, but still I'm attached to your lotus feet. So Prabhupada is going to write in the purport today, which we will be discussing in 33rd, 34th purport. When a devotee is attached to the lotus feet of the Lord, and at the same time is a material desire, the Lord purifies that material desire and increases the devotee's desire to serve the Lord. So people may give up the stereotyped way of life and take up bhakti fully because of their higher taste for the lotus feet of the Lord. This is what is being glorified here by Kardama Muni. But I am having a desire, but it is for fulfilling your desire. And because I'm doing bhakti at your lotus feet by fulfilling the desire of Brahma, I'm sure that I'll also be purified this. This we had seen. So your lotus feet are like, which can extinguish the fire of this material world. Yes. Yes, Apurva Radhikamati, can you read this one? I think we have to start from this, I think. Yes, we had stopped till 17th. We have to start from 17th. 17th is 18th. Okay. Nate Jaraksha Brahmirayu Esham Trayodasharam Trisatam Shashti Parava Sannemananta Chadiyatrinabi Karala Shrota Jagada Achidya Dhavat. So in this shloka, Kardamuni is praying, although Narad Muni, Kumaras, they are given the stereotyped way of life by displeasing their parents, disrespecting the order of Brahma because of the attachment for lotus feet. But in my case, I'm attached to the orders of Brahma. But what happens when those devotees who are attached to lotus feet, what are the benedictions they get? They get benedictions in shloka number 18 and 19. What are the benedictions? Time has no effect on those who take shelter of the umbrella of your lotus feet. They become free of threefold miseries of the material world. So that is being highlighted here. So Prabhupada mentions in this what is time factor, what is the constitution of the time factor in the whole year, and how devotees are not affected by it. So this is the shloka regarding that. Yes, Mataji, please read.
Your wheel, which has 3 naves, rotates around the axis of the imperishable Brahman. It has 13 spokes, 360 joints, 6 rims, and numberless leaves carved upon it. Though its revolution cuts short the lifespan of the entire creation, this wheel of tremendous velocity cannot touch the lifespan of devotees of the Lord. The devotees' lives. नहीं, प्रभु जी translation हो गया है.
So this is Prabhupada's translation.
Yeah.
That what is being told here is, Lord, the wheel is having 360 degrees. So per degree there is joint. That is 1 year. Time is having a period of 1 year. In that 1 year, there are 360 joints, that are days. It has 13 spokes, that is years. We have 12 months, and Adhik Mas is 13th month. And there are 6 rims, there are 6 rutus, and numberless leaves in between days, months, skies carved upon it. There are different tithis. So its revolution cuts short the lifespan of the entire creation. This wheel of tremendous velocity cannot touch the lifespan of devotees of the Lord. So this is speaking about the time has no effect on the devotees. This is what Chakravarti Pada is writing here. The devotees and no others conquer time. That means only Vaishnavas, pure devotees, who are beyond the 3 modes, they can conquer time. The wheel of time, Trinabi, pursues and destroys the universe, but it does not pursue and destroy the life of the devotees. Yes. So Srila Prabhupada in his purport continues the same theme what Chakravarti Pada is highlighting. That is, the time factor cannot affect the span of a life of the devotees. So Prabhupada mentions that Neha Vikramana Shosti Prattavayana Vidyate Svalpam Pyasya Dharmasya Trayatu Matabayat. It can save us from the greatest danger. Now, what is that greatest danger? Time. How it affects the soul, conditioned soul, is it gives repeated transmigration. So therefore, the transmigration can go from a human form of life to animal form of life. So bhakti has a potency to give again a human form of life in the next birth at the least. And at the best, it can take you back to Godhead. So that is what Prabhupada is mentioning here. Only devotee and devotional service to Lord Hari. Harim vina na mrityam taranti. That without the mercy of the Lord, one cannot trespass or overcome the cycle of birth and death. And Prabhupada is quoting again and the shloka Janma Karma Chame Divyam Evam Yo Veti Tattvataha Taktva Deham Punarjanma Naiti Mamiti Swarjana. Prabhupada quoted Nehak Vikramanasasti Janma Karma Chame Divyam to substantiate what? Time cannot affect anybody who has taken shelter of devotional service. After mentioning the glories of devotional service, and that is a Charanartha Pratram in the previous shloka, Lord's lotus feet like umbrella, and Lord's lotus feet, one of the Sri Vaishnava saint, Vedanta Desika, he glorifies the Padukas of the Lord as a parampara. So when you speak about Charanartha Patram, what is that umbrella? It's the Guru Shishya Parampara, and somebody comes in Guru Shishya Parampara and does bhakti, that gives them this two effect. What is that? Least, will not get an animal form of life in the next life. The best, he can become pure devotee and go back to God. After stating these two things, Prabhupada comes to the present verse. What is time factor divided into? Many fractions of moments, hours, months, years, periods, seasons, as already I told in the translation. Prabhupada is mentioning here. Yes, Mataji, can you read this? There are 6 seasons.
Yes. There are 6 seasons called Rutus, and there is a period of 4 months called Chaturmasya. 3 periods of 4 months complete 1 year. According to Vedic astronomical calculations, there are 13 months. The 13th month is called Adhimas or Malamas and is added every 3rd year. The time factor, however, cannot touch the lifespan of devotees. In another verse, it is stated that when the sun rises and sets, it takes away the life of all living entities, but it cannot take away the life of those who are engaged in devotional service.
So this is shloka from Bhagavatam, second canto, third chapter, 11th verse. Ayur harati vaipumsam udyam astam ches yannaso tasya yas artate tasya yat nita artate uttama shloka varte. Said somebody is engaged in devotional service, in chanting the names of Lord, in reading, hearing, or glorifying, propagating. For only such people, tasya yat nita artate. Uttama shloka vartaya. Somebody is engaged in Uttama shloka vartaya, is engaged in pure devotional service or bhakti. For them, the sun doesn't steal their life. So there Chakravarti gives analogy of like a farmer, he takes some seeds of grains and he puts one grain of paddy or jawar or wheat or ragi. When he invests that one grain just before the rainfall comes, after 4 months, that one grain becomes 100, 200, 300 grains. How that one grain investment at a right place, in the right way of culture, because bhakti is cultivation. It is the cultivation words comes from agriculture. That is also cultivation. Like in agriculture, you can invest one paddy grain and from that you can reap 300, 400 grains from that one stem. Similarly, Chakravarti says, he also gives analogy of when money is given to a proper recipient, to a Vedi, Dvivedi, Trivedi, Chaturvedi, or who is not a Brahmana or a Dvija or Dvija Bandhu. According to that, if you use to Dvija Bandhu, you may get it same. If you use it to a Brahmana, you may get it 100 times more. If you use it to Vaishnava, you may get it 1,000 times or 10,000 times more. So it tells that same money invested at proper quality person gives different return. And also when the same seed is put in different quality soil, can give different yield crop. So similarly, when Vaishnavas invest their time and people become Vaishnavas and invest their time in Uttama Shloka, which is a high quality personality, Lord, so that can give them maximum return of time. So they become eternal. This is what he says. That is the reason sun cannot steal the lifespan of those who are engaged in investing their time in glorifying the most topmost personality of Godhead, who is glorified as Uttama Shloka. So time is compared here. Big wheel of 360 joints, 6 rims, that is seasons, numberless leaves that have movements. It rotates on the eternal existence, that is Brahman. Brahman is the main rim or the main crankshaft of this wheel. So this is how Muni is telling that time has no effect on Vaishnavas who have taken shelter of the lotus feet of Charanata Patram. What is the second benefit? Ekasvayam san jagata shishrakshaya dvitiyayatman adiyogamaya shajasya ada pashipunar grashishye yatornanabir bhagavan svashaktibi. Yes. Sachi Sundari Mataji, please read.
Yes. My dear Lord, you alone create the universes. O personality of Godhead, desiring to create these universes, you create them, maintain them, and again wind them up by your own energies, which are under the control of your second energy called Yogamaya, just as a spider creates a cobweb by its own energy and again winds it up.
So basically, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives a dialogue here. What dialogue he gives is, then Lord is asking to Kardam Muni, if you really have, you say that devotees are fortunate, but that you cannot be free of desire, then why don't you fulfill your desire by worshipping devatas? So Lord is asking this question to Kardam Muni. Shloka number 18th and 19th spoke about the glories of those who are devotees. They are not subjected to repeated birth and death, and second thing, they are not subjected to time factor. Loka 18th and 19th verse. Yeah, 17th and 18th verse. So in this, Lord is asking the question, in between 18 and 19, what is the connection? Lord is asking question. Okay, devotees are pure, but you have a desire. But why don't you approach demigods for it? Oh, then he's telling, my dear Lord, you are Asama Urdhva. You alone create the universe. You are personality of Godhead. You only can desire to create this universe, no other demigods. You create them, you maintain them, and again you wind them up by your energies. Which are the energies? He creates through Brahma. he maintains through Vishnu, Shivadaksha Vishnu, and he destroys them, winds them up through the Rudra, which are under your control of your second energy called as Yogamaya. And therefore, Lord is being compared here to spider. So spider is energetic, Shaktiman. And spider creates with his saliva the web, which is its Shakti. So in this purport, Prabhupada mentions about two ways of transcendentalists who say that Lord is ultimately everything is one. Shakti and Shaktiman are one, or Bhagavan is impersonalist. God is impersonalist. So, and Prabhupada says God cannot be impersonal. Here Kardamuni is saying that he is alone. It's not that all gods are one. Lord is supreme person of God, it is single, he is alone. And second thing is, like spider is creating by its energy, spider is Shaktiman and the energy is Shakti. Yes, Ramakrishna Prabhu.
Prabhuji, in the previous section, this analogy was given to Brahma also, na? Urna Nabhihi, like that, wherein he's like the secondary creator. I don't know if this is correct, but I think I remember something like that.
Second canto, 6th chapter, 5th chapter. Narad Muni is seeing Brahma in meditation.
Yes,
and he's
yes.
giving analogy of walnut inside the hand and spider and the cobweb.
Yes,
But
yes,
Brahma
Prabhu.
tells, I am not the spider. I am coming from another personality, Lord Vishnu. So here actually, a spider is compared to the Shaktiman, supreme energetic. Yes. So you say that devotees are fortunate, but that you cannot be free of desire. Why do not fulfill your desire by worshipping devatas who quickly fulfill those desires? But I do not see. So Kardam is telling, but I do not see anyone except you in the universe who can fulfill my desire. Why? Because you are Advitiya, you are Adi, Atman, Yoga, you are beyond Matil Gunas through your Matil Gunas by Yoga Maya, and you, since no devatas exist except you, because you are alone. These are the things he says. So Prabhupada quotes two important things here. In this verse, someone can read this? I think Sashi Sundari Machar read the translation. No? You can only read
Yes.
this.
Yes. In this verse, two important words nullify the impersonalist theory that everything is God. Here, Kardama says, O personality of Godhead, you are alone, but you have various energies.
So two things is there. Everything is God. Everything is not God. God is singular. Is Shakti Man, and is Shakti. Through Shakti, he does everything. And you are alone. So Shakti Man and Shakti. So Lord is Shakti Man, and through Shaktis, he conducts all the material creation. And also in the spiritual world, through Aladini Shakti, Samvit Sanchit, he creates the Vaikuntha, Ayodhya, or for that matter, the Vrindavana, Mathura, all those things. Basically, Shakti is different from Shaktiman. And this oneness, Prabhupada is going to continue with this whole thing. It's a repeating theme of Upanishad. And if you see the Kardam Muni's pastime, this is more of a Vedic way of renunciation, where he's going and doing tapasya for 10,000 years. He's getting married. After getting married, he goes and takes sannyas. And after that, he becomes perfected and goes back to God. And this is during Swayambhu Manu's period. This is a Swayambhu Manu's daughter is being given. Devuti is being given to Kardam Muni. And if you see Ishopanishad, this is the prayer offered by Swayambhu Manu, in the first Manu. So if you have studied Ishopanishad in Bhakti Shastri, and if you have really understood that concept of mantra 4, 5, 6, 7, then this section which we are going to discuss today, if time permits, we'll be able to understand and appreciate it more better. Why? Because there is oneness which is being described in the whole Upanishad. That oneness is not of everything is one. That oneness is that Shaktiman is a cause of Shakti. Yesterday we discussed it elaborately when doing offering these prayers, when we are studying these prayers. This is Shakti, Shaktiman, Abhed. They are one. That means all Shaktis are coming from Shaktiman. This is the oneness which is being, which Mayavadis mistake it and think that everything is one. So Prabhupada is making it very clear. Spider example is significant. Spider is Shaktiman, individual living entity, and its cobweb is because of its energy. And therefore, whenever it wants to wind it up, it can just end it by its own saliva. When the cobweb is manufactured by saliva of the spider does not become impersonal. Spider is existing. So this is the analogy Prabhupada is giving. Similarly, Prabhupada says, Mataji, can you read this last paragraph?
Yes, Prabhuji. Similarly, the creation and manifestation of the material or spiritual energy does not render the creator impersonal. Here, the very prayer suggests that God is sentient and can hear the prayers and fulfill the desires of the devotee. Therefore, he is Satchidananda Vigraha. Bhagavad Gita 5, Brahma Samhita 5.1, the form of bliss, knowledge, and eternity.
Yes. So Lord is not impersonal, he is Shaktiman. And that is the reason this prayer is offered, glorifying the Lord as you will alone exist. That why did not you approach demigods? Because your demigods are coming from you. They are your energies. You are energetic. That is the reason I am taking your shelter. Naitadbatadeeshapadam tavepshitam yanmayaya nastanushe bhutakshukshman anugraha yastva apiyari mayaya Lasattulasya Bhagavan Vilakshita. Yes, Shiji Mataji, please read. You need to
Yes,
unmute.
yes, Prabhuji. My dear Lord, although it is not your desire, you manifest this creation of gross and subtle elements just for your sensual satisfaction. Let your causeless mercy be upon us, for you have appeared before us in your eternal form, adorned with a splendid wreath of tulsi leaves.
So what Chakravarti is saying is, you bestow material benefits to us because of our Maya. You created this material, gross, subtle elements. Because we desire sense enjoyment, therefore gross body, subtle body is created by the Lord. That is the first thing. And not only that, okay, the compassionate nature behind the creation of the universe is to give the living entities who are craving for enjoyment a gross body, a subtle body, and enjoyment plan. And not only that, there is this varnashramic part. This is a physical part, psychophysical nature. For that, Lord has created Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Garas, Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. This is one part. This is for the material enjoyment, gross and subtle body. Second thing, second portion, Kardamuni is telling, let your causeless mercy be upon us. So, okay, for my material pleasure, subtle body and gross body has been created. But not only that, you have created Guru Shishya Parampara. You have given Vedic literature like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavata, and Upanishads, by which we can not only satisfy our material desire, but also we can purify our consciousness and come home back to Godhead by smelling the tulsi leaves at your lotus feet, like the Kumaras. Although they were in impersonal conception of the Supreme Lord, but as soon as that tulsi leaves, Tasya Arvinda Nayanasya Padaravinda, Kinjal Kamishra Makaranda Vayu, Sankshobitam Aksharusham, Apichitta Tanu. So just by smelling, the impersonal conception of them was completely knocked off and they became devotees. First part, you have given us material benefits. Second part, you also given us spiritual benefits. So this is what this shloka is saying. So Chakravarti says here, if that is true, what is true? That I alone can bestow. You need not go to any demigod. Only I can give you benediction. Then by the mercy, may you have the greatest wife, sons, enjoyment, and wealth. That means, yes, demigods cannot give you, will not go to demigods. You have come to me because I am supreme. Then I bless you with best of the wife, sons, enjoyment, wealth. So this is what Lord is, Karda Muni is expecting from the Lord. So in two verses, he gives evidence that Lord gives benedictions. Oh Lord, You do not desire to give these desired things to me, since you think of the welfare of your devotees. Basically, when Lord gives, he purifies. He doesn't give it like that only. He purifies it. So then he's telling, if that is so, then should I give anything? Let it be given, but only for gaining your mercy. So subtle body, gross body is given for enjoyment, so that one undergoes enjoyment and comes to the senses. And apart from that, parallelly, the mercy means the Vedic literature is given, that which is highlighted here in the form of shining tulsi leaves. When at the time of giving benediction, you are noticed, when the pious or especially devotee who has a desire, like Kardamuni in this case, he is performing meditation for 10,000 years. When Lord Vishnu comes in front of him, that is a scene. When at the time of giving benediction, he has come in front of him, Narada Muni is noticing Lord Vishnu. You are noticed by your mercy. You become visible with your glance of mercy, indicating your smile. Your spiritual body is endowed with shining tulsi, which gives you great pleasure, since it has been offered during worship by the devotee. This form, worshipped by the devotee, is not material. Showing this spiritual form is the Lord's mercy. So, a devotee who has a desire, he should not go to any demigod. Akama, Sarva Kama, Moksha Kama Udarati. He should go to the Lord, satisfied beautifully, and along with that, he should practice bhakti and then transcend that desire. That is what the shloka is telling. So, Prabhupada says here in the purport, it is clearly stated here that material world is not created by the personal will of the Supreme Lord. Lord has created Goloka for his personal will, but material world is not created for the personal will. Then why it is created? It is created for, you see the last paragraph, it is not meant for devotees, but for living entities who want to lord it over the material energy. This one. For material world is created for what? Those who want to enjoy separately from the Lord. And for whom material world is not created, it is not created for three things Prabhupada is telling. Who constantly remain in transcendental loving service. That is the first one. See here carefully. For constantly remain in transcendental service, not for them. Who are eternally Krishna conscious, not for them. And who don't want to enjoy sense gratification. These three things Prabhupada is writing. So material world is not for those who don't want to enjoy sense gratification, or constantly remembering, constantly in transcendental service, and who are eternally Krishna conscious. But it is created for them. What is their spiritual world? But for material world, for them, for those who want to enjoy. And Karadam is saying, I am in the category of person has come to enjoy, therefore I come to this material world. But you are so kind. Second part is also there, na? So while Lord is kind, you have created the material world, it is not your will. At the same time, you appear in the personal form to give me benediction. Although you created unwilling this material world, you send your servants or reliable authors like Vasudev to give instruction. You personally come to give speeches like Bhagavad Gita. This propaganda works goes on side by side with the creation to convince the misguided living entity who are rotting in this material world to come back home, back to surrender and dream. So that's Sarvadharma Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Bhaja. Give up all your manufactured engagement. Just surrender to me, I shall protect. So this is what this prayer is indicating. What it is indicating? Lord, you are very merciful. You also created the material body to fulfill our material desire. At the same time, also you are given Vedic literature. And you are sending Vasudev and Guru Shishya Parampara who can purify us so that we can fulfill our material desire also and get purified and come home back to body. Tam tvanubhutyo parata kriyartam swamaya vartita lokatantram namami avikshnam namani pada sarojamalipyasi kama varsham. So now he's telling, I continuously offer my, yes, someone else can read. You guys not read. Yes, Sachin Prabhu, please read.
I continuously offer my respectful obeisances unto your lotus feet, of which it is worthy to take shelter, because you shower all benedictions on the insignificant, to give all living entities detachment from fruitive activity by realizing you. You have expanded these material worlds by your own energy.
So by worshipping you, you destroy the desire to enjoy by giving realization of your sweetness. And that is what is being highlighted here. Now, what Chakrutpa is saying, this is not impossible for you. What is not impossible for you? When by your mercy, like a devotee goes to him for a material benediction, he gets the darshan of the Lord. That is his mercy. Also, he has scriptures by which he can practice bhakti. So that is a mercy. That mercy is being spoken here, highlighted here. When by the mercy, by that mercy of scriptures, the Guru Shri Parampara, you give realization of your sweetness. Then what happens? The desire to enjoy Kriyartham automatically ceases. Although a devotee may come to you for material desire because of your smiling glance, because of the Guru Shishya Parampara, because of the Vedic literature, when he comes and reads that, he gets hooked by that higher taste. And Kriyartham, the desire to enjoy automatically ceases. You have covering of happiness and distress. When it comes to enjoying material world, Avaranatmika Shakti, Prakshikatmika Shakti, covering of happiness and distress produced from karma, tantram for all living beings, which is caused by your Maya. But that cannot last long because your mercy is very, very powerful. Then he says, desiring to increase the population, you fill us with material desire. Now, it's the Lord plan. Now we are starting with the creation of the material world. Third chapter, third canto speaks about the creation. Lord wants to populate, increase the progeny throughout the whole material world. Therefore, Chakravarti Pad is telling Kardam Muni's conversation with the Lord that you have a desire to increase population. Therefore, you have filled us with material desire. If material desire is not there, like Narada Muni had no material desire, Kumara had no material desire, they did not marry, then how will progeny increase? Desiring to increase the population, you have filled us with material desire. This is how Bhakta can tell one Lord only. So we know this, and he's telling again, I know this, that if I want to increase the population, therefore I am filled with material desire, but still I am not able to give up that material desire. That means he's honest. And therefore he's telling, thus we are in a low position. You bestow desires to persons such as me who are very low. So honestly admitting that this material world needs, its progeny needs to be increased, but Narada and Kumaras, they did not enter this race which I'm entering. But I know this desire has been filled in me to increase this, but still I'm not able to give it up. Therefore, he is telling himself as Alityasi, low, but you will purify me. So Prabhupada writes here, two kinds of Vaishnavas. Sakama, everyone, someone can read the purport. As Sachin Prabhu, you only read the purport.
Everyone, therefore, whether he desires material enjoyment, liberation, or the transcendental loving service of the Lord, should engage himself, offering obeisances unto the Supreme Lord, because the Lord can award everyone his desired benediction. In Bhagavad Gita, the Lord affirms yatamam prapadante. Anyone who desires to be a successful enjoyer in this material world is awarded that benediction by the Lord. Anyone who wants to be liberated from the entanglement of this material world is given liberation by the Lord. And anyone who desires to constantly engage in his service in full Krishna consciousness is awarded that benediction by the Lord.
Yes, basically Sakama, Akama, and Mokshakama. So same thing will come in the next verse also. There Prabhupada speaks of Sakama and Nishkama Bhaktas. So here Prabhupada is speaking about three kinds of devotees. One has material desire, one who has liberation desire, another has no desire except to please the Lord. So in the next paragraph, Prabhupada speaks about for material enjoyment, Lord has prescribed Karma Kanda, many Vedic ritualistic ceremonies, and thus people may take advantage of those instruction and enjoy material life in a higher planet or in noble aristocratic family for fulfilling the material desire. These processes are mentioned in the Vedas and one can take advantage of them. It is similar. It is similar with those who want to be liberated from this material world. So second sect is what is liberated? Why when somebody wants to get liberated? Those who want to enjoy dharma, artha, for kama, then they want moksha because they're frustrated. So Prabhupada says, unless one is disgusted with the enjoyment of this material world, he cannot aspire for liberation. Then Prabhupada goes to say the person want to be liberated, then he wants to go to the point of Adato Brahma Jidnyasa. He wants to be happy in the material world. Matlab those who attempt to happy in the material world is futile, and then he wants to search the absolute truth from Vedanta. And then from their level, when a person who on the verge of liberation, he comes in touch with Srimad Bhagavatam, or he comes in touch with Bhagavad Gita. When he gets a real knowledge, his oneness is not that everything is one of the impersonalist, but he gets a real knowledge of oneness, that I am Anu and Lord is Vibhu. When he gets that real knowledge, he becomes theoretically one. Ekatvam anupashyata. What is that one? Oneness of interest. Lord is my master, I am his servant, and I want to serve him by devotional service. When he comes to that level, then he becomes one with the Lord. That is, he wants only to serve the Lord. Yes, we can read this one, third part. Two things you have read. One is material desire, Vedic literature, karma kand desire. Second thing is liberation, naiti naiti. That is impersonal liberation. The third is akama, is pure bhakti. Please read, Prabhu.
When one obtains real knowledge, he becomes theoretically one with the Supreme. And when he actually begins the service of Brahman or Krishna consciousness, he is not only liberated but situated in his spiritual life. Similarly, for those who want to lord it over material nature, there are so many departments of material enjoyment. Material knowledge and material science are available, and the Lord provides for persons who want to enjoy them.
Yes. So what is the conclusion? In this verse, there is Kama Varsham is coming. So this is the conclusion. What is the conclusion? Yes, please read the conclusion.
The conclusion is that one should worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead for any benediction. The word Kama Varsham is very significant, for it indicates that he satisfies the desires of anyone who approaches him. But one who sincerely loves Krishna and yet wants material enjoyment is in perplexity. Krishna, being very kind toward him, gives him an opportunity to engage in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. And so he gradually forgets the hallucination.
Yes. If you see the themes of Bhagavatam, like Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruva Maharaj, at least Dhruva Maharaj, in the case of Dhruva Maharaj, since beginning he had some material desire, but the type of austerities, as soon as he got darshan, there was no material desire. He became a pure devotee. The repeating theme in Bhagavatam is pure devotional service, pure devotional service, pure devotional service. You can see in the case of Kardam Muni, he is also a devotee, but he has a desire. And that desire is ordered by Brahma. And not only ordered by Brahma, and he also has it. So this chapter of Kardam Muni, 21st chapter, is very, very relevant for all of us. Why? Because we are also Sadhaka Bhaktas. At one hand, we want to practice bhakti. At the other hand, some material desire is there. But this can give us hope that this theme which is being told here, somehow the devotee loves Krishna and yet wants material enjoyment, is in perplexity. Then what happens? Krishna, being very kind toward him, gives him an opportunity to engage in transcendental loving service of the Lord. And so he gradually forgets the hallucination. So what one should do is one should accept that I have a material desire. And like Kardam Muni is feeling his acceptance. And he is expressing it in front of the Lord, and he is not just giving a bhakti, he is continuing with the bhakti. What will happen? The material desire will be satisfied or purified. But at the same time, he will gradually forget that hallucination of the material desire, and he will develop loving transcendental service to the Lord. This is what the main repeating theme of the prayers of Kardam Muni. So Rishi Rivacha iti avyalikam pranutabjanabas tam abhabashe vachasamratena suparna paksho parirochamana prema smito dvikshana vibramadruhu. So now, 21st verse is the last prayer of Kardam Muni. So what we learn from Kardam Muni's pastime, although a devotee may have material desire, he accepts that he has a material desire, and understanding the position, he continues his bhakti. Lord purifies the material desire. He also fulfills the material desire, and he also purifies the devotee and takes him back to Godhead. So now, Maitreya Rishi is telling this thing. What he's telling now, this is because Maitreya and Vidura, it's an interaction. So Maitreya Rishi spoke that Karda Muni was a bank. He performed tapasya for 10,000 years. Then being pleased with him, Lord came to him. His prayers are done now. What Lord is going to respond, he's going to tell now. Yes, Jagannath going through. Can you read? So what Lord is going to respond now to Karda Muni's prayers?
Maitreya resumed, sincerely extolled in these words, Lord Vishnu, shining very beautifully on the shoulders of Garuda, replied with words as sweet as nectar. His eyebrows moved gracefully as he looked at the sage with a smile full of affection.
Yeah, he had a affectionate smile. Smita, Rochamana Smita, shining, Prema Smita, affection, smile with affection. And he was standing on Garuda. So Chakravarti says, Nishkapata means sincere. So in this whole shloka, Prabhupada, what he takes is this word called as Vachas Samratena. Vachas Samratena. When Lord is speaking, the word which Lord is going to speak is not coming from the material platform. It's coming from the spiritual platform. So yesterday also discussing this song of Vallabhacharya, Adharam Maduram, Hasitam Maduram, Vacham Maduram, Bhogam Maduram. So anything which is related to Lord, everything is spiritual. Therefore, it is Madhu. It is not material. So this word Vachasa Amritena. This is made up of two words. Vachasa plus Amritena. So Lord Vachasa, the Lord's speech is not material. It is spiritual. Not only his speech, his all activities and his form, everything is spiritual. And Prabhupada is highlighting on this word Amrita. He's telling that speaking on this Vachas Amritena, Amrita refers to that which doesn't die. That is what Devatas want Amrit to become deathless. But they can't. That Amrit, heavenly Amrit cannot make them deathless. What can make them deathless is spiritual Amrit. And that is there in the message of the Lord. That is there in the name of the Lord. That is there in the pastime of the Lord. And that is there in all the features of the Lord. Madhurya Lila Guna Rupa Namna. So Prabhupada concludes, sound of this material world and that of the spiritual world are completely different. When Lord is speaking, that is not of the material world, that is spiritual world. And Prabhupada is comparing that word, which is Vachas Amritena, it is non-different from himself. Therefore, material sound becomes hackneyed, but a spiritual sound is eternal. And therefore, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Ram, Hare Ram.
One can go on chanting enthusiastically for a long time without feeling exhausted. 24 hours Prabhupada is writing here. You will never feel exhausted. Rather, you will feel encouraged to continue chanting more and more. That is the meaning of Vachas Amritena. So because Lord, word and Lord's name are non-different. If we sincerely, nirvelikally welcome, if we approach the holy name, we can continue to chant it. So when Lord replied to the sage Kardama, the word Vachas Amritena is specifically mentioned since he spoke from the transcendental world. He replied in the transcendental words, and when he spoke, his eyebrows moved with great affection. Yes, Prabhu, please read the last, this italics and highlighted.
When a devotee praises the glories of the Lord is very satisfied, and he bestows his transcendental benediction upon the devotee without reservation, because he is always causelessly merciful towards his devotee.
Yes. So when Lord is speaking, his sound is not material, it's spiritual. The same Lord standing in front of Kardam Muni, what mercy, what thing is accessing? The same thing we can access through chanting the holy names of the Lord, or reading Bhagavatam, reading Bhagavad Gita, or when we hear the discourses from the pure devotees, because they are also Vachas Samritina. Shri Bhagavan Yuvacha Viditva Tava Chaityam Me Puraiva Samyojitat Yad Artam Atmanyamis Vayavaham Samarchita is telling, I know Viditva Tava Chaitamya, I know your heart. Puraiva Samayojitat, from past what you're desiring. Yad Artam Atmaniyamais. Why you're worshipping me? Yad Artam. Artho Artha with what desire you're worshipping me? Vayeham Samarchitam. Samarchita means worshipping me with so much mental and sensory discipline. Atma Niyamas, mental and sensory discipline. You are worshipping me for a desire, and I know your heart. Chaityam. What is that? Lord is going to reveal it. That is, he wants a girl of like disposition. Yes, someone can read this translation. Who has not read? Bajhari Prabhu, you want to read? No. Okay, Shironi Radhika Mataji, please read.
Yes. The Supreme Lord said, having come to know what was in your mind, I have already arranged for that for which you have worshipped me well through your mental and sensory discipline.
Atma Samniyam Architam Samarchitam. Prabhupada Chakravarti says Chaityam means what is produced in your heart. Samyoji, accomplished. Prabhupada gives a small thought, but the Supreme Person of Godhead is Paramatma feature. He knows, he's a witness for all our activities, past, present, and future. And Supreme Lord Kardam Muni knew that he had already arranged for fulfillment of his desire. Being Paramatma, he knew what is in Kardam Muni's heart. And therefore, he never disappoints a sincere devotee, regardless of what he wants. But he never allows anything which will be detrimental to the individual's devotional service. Like you give example of shopkeeper. When son comes to the father and asks, I want 100 rupees. For what? Smoking cigar. He slaps him. But when he goes to shopkeeper, demigods, then they can give him. So Lord will give if it is not detrimental to individual's devotional service. And Lord knew Gardama Muni's marriage with the Devahuti is not detrimental for him. Therefore, is going to give him that desire. Navaijatu Mrishayvisat Prajadyaksha Madarhanam Bhavad Videshati Mayi Sangra Vitatmanam. Yes. Yashika Mataji, please read.
Translation. The Lord continued, my dear Rishi, O leader of the living entities, for those who serve me in devotion by worshipping me, especially persons like you who have given up everything unto me, there is never any question of frustration.
So Lord is telling him, because you have served me in devotion like you, there is no question of frustration. So Prabhupada doesn't give any purport to it. Chakravarti Prabhupada's purport is there, Sakam and Akam Bhakta. Prabhupada gives it. Chakravarti says this. Fulfilling your desire will not reduce your worship for me. He knows it because Prabhupada in the last purport what he told, he will give only if that will not disturb his bhakti. So Lord knows. So Chakravarti was saying what Lord is, when he's giving that benediction, what Lord is thinking. Fulfilling your desire will not reduce your worship for me. Rather, you will attain me. Please take courage. Don't be fearful that you will be entangled. It is quoting 19th chapter, 5th canto, 26th verse, Chakravarti Path. So Lord certainly gives desired object to devotees who request them, but he does not give in such a way that devotee will ask again and again after finishing his enjoyment. Lord is very smart. He just gives in such a way that the devotee should not ask it again. He gives his lotus feet, which includes all desirable, because that Charanatha Patram is a source of everything. It's a source of all wishes to those worshippers who do not desire them. Somebody may go for material desire, but Lord is very smart. Chaitanya Charitamrita also comes. He will not give. He will fulfill desire in such a way that he will give his own lotus feet, by which the person will forget that material desire. Worshipping me will never be without good result. You worship me, you'll get result. In the end, I'll bestow my abode, like he gave his abode to Dhruva Maharaj. Such worship among those devotees who have absorbed their minds in me, such as you, certainly will give results. So Prabhupada speaks about two kinds of bhaktas, Sakama and Akama. Even if he has some desire, when engaged in service of the Lord, is never frustrated. So Prabhupada says, those engaged in his service are of two types, Sakama. And those who approach the Supreme Lord with desires for material desire are called Sakama. And those who have no material desire for sense gratification, but serve the Supreme Lord of spontaneous love for him are called akama. In sakama, there are four types: artho, artharthi, jitnyasu, jnani. And for all these four kind of people, there is no frustration for any of these four classes of men. Each is endowed with the desired result of his worship. That means anybody out of this four class, with 7.7 chapter 13, 14 shloka speaks in Bhagavad Gita. All these artho, artharthi, jitnyasu, jnani. Even though they are called as sukritinas, because they are called broad-minded, because they have gone to Lord only. They are not going to any demigods. Therefore, they are going to get the result, provided that that benediction doesn't become an hindrance to their bhakti. Okay. Yes. Now, Lord is going to tell him what was his desire. Prajapati Suta Samran Manur Vikyat Mangala Brahmavartam Yo Divasam Shashti Saptar Navam Mahim. He says Prajapati Sutam Samran. So Brahma's son, Swayambhu Manu, Manur Vikyat Mangalaha. He is having a glorious character. Brahmavartam Yo Vishan. He is ruling a tract of land called Brahmavarta. And what is a tract of land having? Shashti Saptar Nava Mahim. It is having 7 oceans. So Emperor Swayambhu Manu, the son of Brahma, is well known for his good qualities. Mangala. Living in Brahmavarta, he rules the earth with 7 oceans. Prabhupada says, what is Brahmavarta? Some people say Brahmavarta is Kurukshetra. But some people say that Brahmavarta is not Kurukshetra. It is somewhere in Brahmaloka where Swayambhu Manu stayed and he was ruling. And Prabhupada gives an analogy, like in the Goloka there is Vrindavana, Dwarka, Ayodhya, in Vaikuntha Loka. And the reflection of that is in Brahma Vrindavana. Similarly, this Brahmavarta might be in Brahmaloka also and might be in the earthly planet also. In that way, Prabhupada quotes. And he comes directly, he doesn't spend much time on that Brahmavarta. He comes directly to this quality of Mangala. So Mangala means one who is elevated in every respect. In religious performance, in cleanliness, in ruling power, all good qualities. Vikyata means celebrated for these 3 of all these qualities. Swayambhu Manu celebrated for all good qualities and opulences. So speaking about Swayambhu Manu, why? Because Swayambhu Manu is also searching for a match for his daughter. Sacheha Vipra Rajarshir Mahishya Satarupaya Ayasyati Drukshatvam Parasvo Dharma Kovida. Yes. Apurva Radhika Mataji, please read.
Yes, Prabhuji. The day after tomorrow, O Brahmana, that celebrated emperor, who is expert in religious activities, will come here with his queen, Shatarupa, wishing to see you.
For what? That is told in next verse. Atmajam Asitam Pangim Vyaha Shila Gunanvitam Mragayantim Patim Dashyati Anurupaya Te Prabhu Mragayantim Patim Dashyati. So this is speaking, this verse 7th verse is speaking about the beauty of his daughter Devahuti. What she Atmajam Asita Pangim. Yes, somebody else can read. Yes, Sachindra Mataji, please read this one.
She has a grown-up daughter whose eyes are black. She is ready for marriage and she has good character and all good qualities. She is also searching for a good husband. My dear sir, her parents will come to see you who are exactly suitable for her just to deliver their daughter as your wife.
So Lord is telling, my dear sir, to Kardam Muni. This is Prabhupada's bhava. Chakravarti says her age and qualities are suitable for you. So Prabhupada gives the whole purport on matchmaking. The marriage bureau can take this purport for their reference on how to make matches. What says? The selection of good husband for a good girl was always entrusted to the parents. So Kardam Muni, Saturupa and Swayambhu Manu personally came. They did not come with the kingdom. They rode the chariot. They personally came to find the husband. So Prabhupada says it's a duty of parents to find a qualified. What happens if parents don't find girls because of impulse? They may not see the foresightedness and may end up with a wrong boy. which will later on end with so many things which is happening in the material world now, present world. So that is what Prabhupada says here, that out of the urge for sex, the girl may accept anyone, but if the husband is chosen by parents, they can consider who is to be selected and who is not to be selected, because they have that Viveka Buddhi. According to Vedic system, therefore the girl is given over to suitable boy by the parents. She is never allowed to select her own husband independently. Sometimes Swayamvar was there, but Swayamvar, the conditions set in such a way, only a qualified husband can be selected by a daughter. Samahitam te hridayam yatreman parivatsaran satvam brahman rapavadu vadu kamam ashu bajishyati. Yes. Shiji Mataji, please read.
Translation. That princess, O holy sage, will be just the type you are thinking of in your heart for all these long years. She will soon be yours and will serve you in your heart's content.
Yes. So if you see specifically, the whole theme line of this chapter, it appears to be like present day, not comparing, not bringing Bhagavatam to the material level, but a normal boy and a girl, they want to come together, they want to live together. But because what is the difference? Kardamuni is a devotee, and devotee, she is also devotee. And therefore, this kind of emotions in bhakti should not be neglected or should not be shunned off as we should not demonize these emotions between man and woman, but we should harmonize it in bhakti. And what happens? Then they both of them can be elevated to the level of pure devotion service. And this is the chapter 21, 22, 23, 24 Bhagavatam speaks about. That means the basic emotion and the basic urge between man and woman which is there, that can be spiritualized if Lord is kept in the center. And here Lord is personally doing the matchmaking for Kardam Muni, because Brahma is his father. His father is not searching, he is in meditation. But Lord himself is coming and telling Kardama, so on the 2 days from now, your son and father-in-law and your mother-in-law will come and they will give the hand of their daughter Devuti to you. So this is being told here. Stay, she will soon be yours, will serve you to your heart content. So Lord is so personal. He's understanding what is the need of Kardam Muni. Although this need is material, but because Kardam Muni has done all these austerities toward the lotus feet of Lord, Lord is very personal. Now we can understand if Kardam Muni is going to Lord with a desire, which his father has told him, also he has a desire. Lord can be so personal. If devotees can go to Lord without any desire, then how much Lord can reciprocate with that personality? That is the extent we can see from here. The princess Nrapavadu, to whom your heart has been attached, will marry you. So Prabhupada writes here, Lord awards all benediction according to the heart's desire of a devotee. Lord is very personal. So Lord informed Kardam Muni that girl who is coming to be married with you is a princess, daughter of Emperor Swayambhu, and so just suitable for your purpose. Prabhupada goes a step ahead. Only by God's grace can one get a nice wife just as he desires. Similarly, it is only by God's grace that a girl gets a husband suitable to her heart. Thus, it is said that if we pray to the Supreme Lord in every transaction of our material existence, addressing the emotions, not demonizing them or shunning them, everything will be done very nicely and just suitable to our heart's desire. That means a material emotion should not be given up, it should be harmonized in spirituality. In other words, in all circumstances, we must take shelter of the Supreme Person of Godhead and depend completely on his decision. Man proposes, God disposes. The fulfillment of the desire, therefore, should be entrusted to the Supreme Person of Godhead. That is a nice solution. Parents should try their best. Whatever is there in our circle of influence, we should do it. Like Kardam's, Manu and Saturupa, they are trying to search. Like Kardam Muni is trying to meditate, he's dependent on Lord. That is his cheshta, swacheshta. But then that is his endeavor. But then again, second part is that dependent on the mercy of the Lord. So both, like Kartik month is coming. Our endeavor, Krishna's mercy. So that is not only applicable for bhakti, that is also applicable for the extension of bhakti when we stay in this material world. Kardamuni desired only a wife, but because he was a devotee of the Lord selected a wife for him. Now, this is, you can read what Prabhupada writes here. Lord selected a wife for him who was the emperor's daughter, a princess. Thus, Kardamuni got a wife beyond his expectation. If we depend on the choice of the Supreme Person of Godhead, we will receive benedictions in greater opulence than we desire. If Kardamuni just had gone, who knows whom he had married? But he got dependent on Lord. That was selling. He got an emperor, whole Brahmavarta's princess. He got as a wife. So Prabhupada says in last. Mataji, can you read this whole paragraph at last?
It is also significantly noted here that Kardam Muni was a Brahmana, whereas Emperor Sarvabhaum was a Kshatriya. Therefore, intercaste marriage was current even in those days. The system was that a Brahmana could marry the daughter of a Kshatriya, but a Kshatriya could not marry the daughter of Brahmana. We have evidences from the history of the Vedic age that Shukracharya offered his daughter to Maharaja Yayati, but the king had to refuse to marry the daughter of a Brahmana. Only with the special permission of the Brahmana could they marry. Intercaste marriage, therefore, was not prohibited in the olden days, many millions of years ago, but there was a regular system of social behavior.
The same caste was there. In exception, at least higher, like Brahmana, could marry a Kshatriya wife, but a Kshatriya could not marry a Brahmana wife. In that case, Shukracharya's case, he had a permission, consent of the father. Then only accepted he had the marriage. So Prabhupada brings out this thing which most of the caste Goswamis nowadays, caste Brahmanas say, what is in ISKCON? You people have all these things. But again, we cannot extend it like a rubber band. Rubber band also has some elasticity. If you pull it beyond, it breaks. So therefore, this has to apply it according to place, time, circumstances. Yata atmavritam viryam navada prashavishyati viryetvadiye rashya adasyanti anjasatmana. Yes, Sachin Bro, please read.
You will bring forth 9 daughters from the seed sown in her by you, and through the daughters you beget, the sages will duly beget children.
Okay, that means Lord is forecasting that when you get married, you'll have 9 daughters, and they'll be married to other sages, from which the progeny will increase, the population will increase, because it's creation. It's third kind of speaking of creation. Tvamcha samyag anustaya nidesham usattama mayi tirti krita shesha kriyarto mam prapatsyese. This is very important. The shloka is very important for us, especially the Kali Yuga. We are trying to practice bhakti, whether as brahmacharis, whether as grahasthas, whether as vanaprasthas, whether as sannyasis. This word Prabhupada is highlighting in this is this tirti mayi tirti krita shesha kriyartah. Basically, when we do something, we should do not as a doer that we are doing that thing. We should do offering it as a sacrifice for Lord. That is, this word is going to highlight. Also, you're going to get married, but you're going to get married, you will beget children, yeah. But still, you will do it as a sacrifice for my pleasure, not for you as a doer. That's the difference between non-devotee husband and wife and a devotee husband and wife. What are the quality they should develop? This is Mayi Tirti Krite Shesha Kriyartaha. So therefore, this 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th chapter speaks about the Ivi Varnashram aspect also in that way. If you read it very carefully from Acharya's commentaries and Prabhupada purports. Yes, Jagan going through, please read this.
With your heart cleaned by properly carrying out my command, resigning to me the fruits of all your acts, you will finally attain to me.
Yeah, the Tirti Kritesha Kriyartha means resigning to me the fruits of your acts. Or if you have studied, when you have done Bhakti Shastri, there is something called Nishkama Karma Yoga. You do the activity, but after doing the activity, that fruits of the activity should be given to the Lord. Or Ishavashan principle. Kurvan nevehi karmani jiji vichesatam samaha. That principle. So Prabhupada is going to highlight it there. Kardam prayed for a mercy in verse 20. Now in verse 30, this Tirthi Karta means giving to the worthy recipient. That means Lord is the one who has to enjoy all our sacrifice. So Prabhupada quotes Yat Karoshi Yat Asnasi, Prabhupada quotes Bhuktaram Getapasam, Prabhupada quotes all the things which has to be done, has to be offered for me. All this in the purport. So, Prabhuji, please read the purport. It's a very interesting purport and it's very, very practical for all of us.
Here the word Tirtha, Kirteshah, Kriya Artha are significant. Tirtha means a sanctified place where charity is given. People used to go to places of pilgrimage and give munificently in charity. This system is still current. Therefore, the Lord said, in order to sanctify your activities and the results of your action, you will offer everything unto me.
Yes.
Should I continue?
Basically, if Kardam Muni should not get entangled, then he should work in the principle of Nishkama Karma Yoga or as an instrument. So when who does a charity? तीर्थ स्थान में जाके कौन वहाँ पे जाके जो नियम रहते हैं वहाँ पे जाके दान धर्म यज्ञ कौन करते हैं? जो मम और अहम, me and mine, one has to give up that to worship. They go and do those charities to understand that it's not mine, it's Lord's. Therefore, Prabhupada writes, Yat Karush Yat Asnasi Yat Joshit Tadashiyat, here in the shloka. Yes, Prabhupada, please read.
All activities.
No, this one. This
This okay. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you sacrifice, the result should be given to me only.
Yes.
In another place in Bhagavad Gita, Lord said, I am the enjoyer of all sacrifices, all penances, and everything done for the welfare of mankind or society.
That is Bhaktaram Gita-prasam. Prabhupada is quoting that 5th chapter, the last verse. Yes. So, conclusion, Prabhupada writes here. All activities,
therefore, whether for the welfare of family, society, country, or humanity at large, must be performed in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah,
That
what is
is
the meaning of Tirti Krita Shesha Kriyartha matlab? Do Krishna consciousness. Somebody wants to marry, make it Krishna consciousness. Somebody wants to go to children, make it Krishna consciousness. Somebody wants to work, offer the fruits of that work. Basically, everything should be, whichever is materially, wherever these things are involved, time, space, money, which is matter, make it offer the fruits of these things for Krishna. Then we will not be bound. If we don't do that, that is going to bind us. And then our bhakti is going to become slack. That is the instruction given by the Lord to Kardam Muni. Prabhupada quotes from Bhagavatam, when Narad Muni came to Maharaj Yudhishthira, when he welcomed Narad Muni, he tells this shloka. Please read for this one, last.
Maharaj Yudhishthira welcomed Narad Muni. Wherever you are present, that place becomes sanctified because the Lord Himself is always seated in your heart. Similarly, if we act in Krishna consciousness under the direction of the Lord and His representative, then everything is sanctified. This is the indication given to Kardama Muni, who acted on it and therefore received the most excellent wife and child, as will be disclosed in later verses.
So what is the thing we have to learn from this is, bhakti also, when you do bhakti has to be practiced under guidance. And that guidance should not be just for the namesake. We have to have someone in our life whom we are accountable to, who know us inside out. At least one Gurjan says, at least if there is no one person in your life who knows what is happening in your spiritual life, and he should not be, he should be someone who is senior than you. So Sigdha Satovara Swajati. Then what happens is, under the guidance, things become very easy. So acting Krishna consciousness under the direction of the Lord or his representative, then everything is sanctified, and that person should be in a good standing. So then what happens is, then our progress in bhakti can be very, very swift. This is the meaning of Tirti Krita Shesha Kriyartha. Very simple. That means whatever system Maharaj has given us in Chopati or in Pune counseling system. So we should have a very honest, open relationship with a counselor. If we are counselors, then we should have somebody who is much more senior than us somewhere, where we report something, not all the things, but at least the major things, what is happening in our life, then that will bring us to this level of being free of the reactions of what we are doing. Kritvadayam cha jiveshu dattva cha vayamatmavan mayi atmana atmanam saha jagat drakshashi atmani chapimam. This is a very, very technical theme. This comes in Ishopanishad, mantra 5, mantra 6, mantra 7. Yatu sarvani bhutani atmanyevanu pashyati sarvabhuteshu chatmanam tato na vijugupsati. That is mantra 6. And then etu sarvani bhutani atmaiva bhuta vijanata tatra bhamo shoka ekatvam anupashyata. So Bhakti Shastri, Ishopanishad is a very one of the most what do you say, difficult to understand. I'll not tell us tough, difficult to understand scripture. But Ishopanishad is the Shruti mantra. Shruti means what? Whatever comes in Smriti and Nyaya, basically Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, is a repeating theme. Ishopanishad is the serves as a skeleton for that, or it's a foundation for that. So Lord Vishnu is predicting when Kardam Muni marries Devahuti. After marrying Devahuti, he does these things. Kritva dayam cha jiveshu, showing compassion to all living entities. Dattva cha abhayam atmavan, and by making people fearless by your actions, you will attain self-realization. Giving assurance of safety to all, you will pursue your own self as well as the universe in me and myself in you. If you analyze the Ishopanishad shloka, Yatu sarvani bhutani atmanyevanu pashyatah sarvabhuteshu chatmana, those, that personality who sees all living entities in relation with the Lord in disciplic succession and sees all living entities in him and him in all living entities. Both mantra 6 and 7 is almost like that. Our ekatvam anupashyate comes in mantra 7. That Ishopanishad mantra 6 and mantra 7 combined together is the shloka. And there, if you see in Ishopanishad, if you remember Bhakti Shastri, doing Bhakti Shastri, Prabhupada writes in mantra 6 and 7, 3 types of adhikaris: Kanishta adhikari, Madhyam adhikari, Uttam adhikari. Why Prabhupada writes there those 3 adhikaris? If Ishavashan principle is there, okay, there is Isha, master, we should follow that master, then we can live for a long, long time. Jiji Vishe Chatam Samaha, hundreds of years. After that, we can go back to Godhead. If we follow Ishavashan principle. If we don't follow the Ishavashan principle, Asurya Namate Loka Andena Tamsavrata. So now we know this personality, the Isha, but how to perceive the Isha practically? For that, there are 4 visions. When we see material thing with material vision, we see with sense gratification. That means we are entangled. Case of Kardam Muni, he is seeing material thing with spiritual vision. Married life is material, but he is doing with spiritual vision for the pleasure of Brahma, for the pleasure of Vishnu. What it gives? Purification of heart. This is one part of psychophysical condition. Let's come to spiritual life, spiritual side. 2 things I told. Seeing material things with material vision leads to bondage, karam bandhan. Seeing material things with spiritual vision leads to purification of heart. Example, Kardam Muni approaching Devahuti. He is not entangled. 3rd thing, seeing spiritual things with material vision. Archa, Shila, Murti, seeing a crack on the deity, or a devotee as material. Then what happens? Offense. Seeing spiritual things with material vision leads to offense. And seeing spiritual thing with spiritual vision in the Vaidhi Sadhaka Bhakta stage can give us purification of heart, and in the pure devotion stage it can lead us to Bhava and Prema. So if Isha is there in this material world, how to pursue that Isha? For that you need a vision of Mahabhagavad. And what is that vision? 4 things mentioned. Lord cannot be seen by our material senses. We'll only get perturbed and will get entangled. Lord has to be seen spiritual vision. What is that? Achintya Shakti. And after that, what? Lord. Before seeing the Lord as with spiritual vision, Achintya Shakti, we should see things of this material world spiritual vision. That is mantra 6, mantra 7. What is the mantra 6, mantra 7? Yes, yas, ya sarvani bhutani. Atman niyamano pashyati. When he sees these things of the material world, the living entities, the objects in connection with Lord, sees Lord in them and all of them in the Lord. Tatona vijugupsate. This is the meaning. And this is the shloka which we are coming. So this is having a deep connection with Ishopanishad. And therefore, what happens to such a person? He is seeing the material world with spiritual vision. He is entering Grahastha ashram. Material thing, spiritual vision. Kritva dayam cha jiveshu. In Grahasthas are meant to give whatever they have as Grahasthas in charity to the people whom they can. Therefore, they should show compassion. Chakravarti writes in the translation. Someone can read this, it will become a little more clear to you. Who is not yet read till now? Okay. Sachin, please read. Sachin, please read. The first line here refers to Kritva Dayam Cha Jiveshu, showing compassion to all living entities. When he is in Grahastha ashram with Dehuti, he should show compassion to all living entities. By that, he will attain self-realization. Seeing material things with spiritual vision will lead to purification of heart, and that is the beginning of self-realization. So we can read this one, showing mercy as householder.
Showing mercy as a householder by giving food, clothing, and wealth to the jivas. As a sannyasi, you will then give
that is regarding first verse, first line. What is second line? Seeing spiritual things with spiritual vision. That is the fourth vision I told. I told two visions which are offensive, two visions which will elevate us. Seeing material things with spiritual vision, seeing spiritual things with spiritual vision. Dattva cha abhayam atmavan. So what he should do, he should give fearlessness to others. That means he should become a sannyasi and preach Krishna's message. Yes, you can read as sannyasi.
As a sannyasi, you will then give fearlessness to the jivas by giving teachings one bhakti.
Yeah, that is referring to the second shloka. Dattva, second line. Dattva chabhayam atmavan. Now third line. Mai atmanam sah jagat. It is referring to in me, you will see all living entities with yourself. What it is referring to, you can see this. You can read this. Continue. Now I will not stop you.
At the present, you know by the vision of scriptures that the whole world along with yourself resides within me, the Supreme Lord.
Yeah.
Then, however,
so all of us technically know that this material world is coming from Mahavishnu, and we are in the Bhuloka, and we are within the womb of Mahavishnu coming out. We know that. But this Karda Muni will physically, practically realize it. Not physically, practically realize it at this level of when he becomes Uttamadhikari. Yes, bro, please read.
Then, however, you will directly realize this. First, you will see me in the form of the first Purusha with 1,000 heads, and you will see the thousands of universe in my hair holes along with yourself. Yeah. Now you know me.
That is what is Mahavishnu, from the pores of Mahavishnu, Brahmanas are coming. So in that way, he will see that all living entities along with him are inside Mahavishnu. And Lord is inside all living entities, who will see as Paramatma. Who is that Paramatma? Antaryami, or Shirodakshai Vishnu. And now you know me as Antaryami existing in yourself. But practically, you will be able to feel it. But when you directly see me as a third Purusha, Shirodakshai, I will show you all things created and uncreated. Okay, this is one meaning. Second meaning, Chakravarti says, if all of you okay, whatever I told, if you're not understood anything, no issue. Just come to this one thing. He should show compassion as a grahastha, because grahastha duty is to give donations, maintain the sannyasis. As sannyasi should preach, and he should become much more realized. And he should see himself and all living entities inside the Lord. Now, when Mata Yashoda and Vrindavan, when all some of the coward boys came and complained, your son is eating some mud. Actually, Balram only complained. Then Yashoda Mata went to Krishna. Open your mouth. And when Krishna opened the mouth, she saw the whole Brahmanda. She saw whole Vrindavan. She saw herself. And she saw Krishna inside it. That is what Chakravarti was saying here. So she's a pure devotee. Krishna revealed that scene to her. The same scene, Lord will reveal it to Kardam Muni at his perfected stage when he becomes pure. Another thing is, he will see Lord within his heart. How? When Krishna used to go out for grazing cows, all the gopis who were married to some other husbands and who had a paramount relation with the Lord, they could not go and practically meet the Lord. Then, tam kachin netra randrena hridi kritva nimilaya cha ulakangi upaguyaste yogi vananda samprutas. They used to see Lord Krishna through their glance. They would take him inside their heart, and then within the core of their heart, they will embrace him. This kind of feature. Devotees who are at a pure level, Uttamadhikari level, they can do this. And the Lord is blessing Kardam Muni that after getting married with devotee, after performing your grahastha duties, and after that you take sannyas and you go and preach, and at some point of time, you will be able to, whatever you're reading scriptures, like all of us reading Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, this will become a reality for you at the end of your life before giving up the body. Then you come back to Godhead. So I'll not go in the detail of the purport because it is very, very technical. If I start reading, one by one devotees will start leaving the Zoom session. So what I'll just tell is, first principle to be understood is that in this world is a product of the Supreme Being. There is something called as what impersonalists say is ekatvam. Everything is one. Like all of you in this past time, right? When not Brahmananda, Shyam Sundar and three couples, Shyam Sundar Prabhu and Mukund Prabhu. For three couples, Shyam Sundar Prabhu, Mukund Prabhu, and third one was Yamuna Mata's husband, Gurudas Prabhu. Yes, Gurudas Prabhu. So when Gurudas Prabhu went to a Sammelan in Rajasthan, somewhere North India, and most of the Mayavadis were sitting there. And Prabhupada told, I'll not go there because if I go there, I have to go and hear all those Mayavadi stuff from them. Gurudas, better you go there. Gurudas Prabhu goes there. He sits for 1 hour, 2 hours, and then at the last, they give the mic to him. And he hears that everything is one, everything is one, everything is one, everything is one. Basically, Mayavad. When the mic comes to him, Gurudas Prabhu takes the mic and tells. If you all of you really feel that you're all big scholars, if you really feel that everything is one, then in the feast we have rasgullas. And on the road there is dog stool. Is rasgulla and the dog stool one? Then why don't you eat dog stool? And he kept the mic. And next day complaint came to Prabhupada. All that scholarly Pandits came to Prabhupada to meet him in the room. Prabhupada, your disciple is very offensive. He is telling that rasgulla and dog stool is one, so better eat it. Prabhupada told, they're all new people. They have come from America. They don't know the Indian culture. So kindly forgive them. Like this Prabhupada told, send them. All the disciples were feeling that Prabhupada is going to become very heavy on Brahmananda Prabhu. Then he turned to Brahmananda Prabhu and told, what example you quoted? Prabhupada, sparingly, I quoted that if everything is one, the dog stool and gulab jamun or rasgulla is same, then why not eat it? Prabhupada told, amazing example. So this is what the whole purport is speaking about, that the first part. What is that? The identity is accepted. There is identity of this world with the Supreme Lord. What is the identity? Supreme Lord is Shaktiman and the world is Shakti. But this identity is accepted in a misconceived way by the impersonalist. They say that Supreme Absolute Truth transforms himself into the universe, loses his separate existence. The Shaktiman loses his existence and becomes Shakti, and he has divided all living entities and he has forgotten his identity. This is basically a pantheistic philosophy. They are the Virat Rupa worshippers from Bhagavatam 2nd canto, 1st chapter. It's a apakva yogi, impure, not a mature yogi or attached yogi. This is the view of the impersonalists. But those are personal devotees of the Lord take everything to be the property of the Supreme Lord. Everything, whatever we see, is a manifestation of Supreme Lord by his energies. सब कुछ भगवान से आ रहा है, तो सब कुछ भगवान के सेवा में लिखना चाहिए. Like once Prabhupada was in Mayapur, that long building was getting constructed, and every time people used to come and go, that door used to slam, third. Prabhupada used to always tell, this is the energy of the Lord, please utilize it properly. And sometimes Prabhupada used to call some of the secretaries and tell, are you able to hear? Disciple used to tell what Prabhupada, secretary, assistant used to tell what Prabhupada, servant used to tell what Prabhupada. Are you able to hear? No. Hear carefully. Are you able to hear? No. The tap is on. Go and switch off the tap. The water is Krishna's energy. So therefore, everything which is, whether it is wood, whether it is water, whether it is electricity, everything is Krishna's energy. Everything should be utilized in Krishna's service and nothing else. And we should also save it as devotees because it is coming from Krishna. This is the concept Prabhupada is telling here. So this is devotee concept. What they say, that since everything is coming from Supreme Lord, everything should be engaged in service of the Lord. This is oneness. भगवान शक्ति भगवान का है, तो शक्ति को शक्तिमान की सेवा में लगाओ. This is oneness. एकत्वम अनुपश्यता from Ishopnishad mantra 6 and mantra 7. And if you read in Ishopnishad mantra 6 and 7, you will see the same purport Prabhupada writes there also. This oneness is of Shakti, Shaktiman, Abhed. He gives example of fire. Fire has heat and light, and that heat and light is energy of the fire. Therefore, fire means heat and light means fire. So Krishna is the source of the whole material and spiritual world. Tathas Shakti, internal energy, Antaran Shakti, and Bairanga Shakti, external energy. It has to be utilized in Krishna's service. They are meant for Krishna's service. But Prabhupada writes here, what is the difference? The difference between the impersonalist and the personalist is that impersonalist does not accept the separate existence of the Lord, like they were debating with Guru Das Prabhu. But the personalist accepts the Lord as Shyam Sundar, Sitaram, Lakshmi Narayan, Lord Vishnu. He understands that although he distributes himself in so many ways, but he distributes himself not himself. He distributes himself through his energy in the form of Brahman. He distributes himself through Paramatma feature, but he continues to stay in the spiritual world, like Ishupnishad mantra 4 and 5. What is that? Tad Dejati, Tad Naijati, Tad Dure, Tad Vantike, Tad Antarasya Sarvasya, Taddu Sarvasasya Bhayatana. He walks as Bhagavan, he walks, but as Brahman and Paramatma, he doesn't have to walk. Like when Prutu Maharaj could not perform the 100 sacrifices, he stopped at 99 sacrifices. First time in the history of whole Bhagavatam, Lord Vishnu came on the Garuda's back. He was so pleased with Prutu Maharaj, he got down from Garuda. And when Vishnu comes, Lord Vishnu comes, he doesn't step on the earth planet. His feet are 6 inches above the earth planet. But he was so much pleased with Prutu Maharaj, he kept his feet on earth planet. And he had an imbalance, because that was the first time he was doing like that. And therefore, to maintain the imbalance, he was catching Garuda's shoulder. Because he was so much affectionate to Prutu Maharaj for stopping that yajna. Because Prutu Maharaj was performing yajna to kill Indra. But Lord became so pleased, he practically stepped on the earth. And he had to catch Garuda. That means Lord Vishnu doesn't walk. He just sits on Garuda, flies and just appears. But who walks? Lord Ram, Bhagavan jab aate dharti pe, incarnation as he comes, Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, Lord Ram, all different incarnations, they come and they walk. So this is a difference. So devotees know that Lord has what? Achinta Shakti, because of which he is Bhagavan. He expands as Paramatma, and he has effulgence called as Brahman. Through different energies, he is spreading throughout the whole creation. This is being like Prabhupada giving example of sun and sunshine. Sun is Lord Krishna, sunshine is Brahma Jyoti. And just because there are so many planets in the sunshine doesn't mean that Mercury, Venus, Jupiter, Saturn, we can call them as sun. Prabhupada giving this analogy. Just because 9 planets in the solar system are in the sunshine doesn't become sun. Similarly, just because we are coming from Krishna or we are the whole existence in Brahma Jyoti doesn't mean that we have become Parabrahma. This is the example you see here. So after that, then what? This energy is coming from Lord Krishna. So energy can be utilized for real self-interest if one is compassionate. A person in Krishna consciousness knows that his energy is Krishna's energy. So you should utilize each and every bit of sweat and blood for preaching Krishna consciousness. Now, after telling this thing, after removing this concept of Lord in all living entities and living entities in Lord, which is Ekattam Anupashyatah, he comes to the feature of 3 kinds of adhikaris. Kanishta adhikari, he goes to temple, rings a bell, he has nothing to do with devotees, material things with material vision, he can't advance. So he has to become Madhyam adhikari, see material things with spiritual vision. He can deal with newcomers compassionately, innocent people, Krishna consciousness. With devotees, he develops friendship, maitri. With Lord, he has loving devotional service by which he can advance, and envious stay away from them. In that way, he can deal. And the next step is why Prabhupada is giving this Madhyam Adhikari, Uttam Adhikari. If you see this shloka, Kritva Dayam Cha Jiveshu, as a Grahastha, you will show compassion and giving charity to all living beings. Prabhupada says if some Grahastha is there, should go out in the road, ask somebody is hungry. That was a Vedic tradition, this Satyuga. So he, because the Grahastha, he should do that kind of compassion. That is Madhyam Adhikari level. Second thing is Dattva Chabayam Atmavan, that is Uttam Adhikari level. What is Uttam Adhikari level? He wants to preach Krishna consciousness. That is the reason Uttam Adhikari's description is coming here. You see carefully. The second class devotee is who is merciful and compassionate to fallen souls. That is what Gadamuni is doing as a Grahastha. Then, when he is begotten 9 daughters, when he is begotten Kapil Dev, he takes sannyas. He has done his desire is fulfilled. He's going to take sannyas and is going to go out and preach. That time, first class devotee gives assurance to someone. Can you read? Jagannath going through, can you read this one?
From where, bro?
The first class devotee.
The first class devotee gives assurance to every living being that there is no fear of this material existence. Let us live in Krishna consciousness and conquer the nascence of material existence.
And therefore, when Karadama is going to take sannyas, he is going to give this kind of assurance to them. Therefore, he's become a Uttamadhikari. And next, it is indicated, yeah, please read next.
It is indicated here that Kardam Muni was directed by the Lord to be very compassionate and liberal in his householder life and to give assurance to the people in his renounced life.
So basically, you can see this has to basically come from the father. But Lord is acting like a father and a guru for Kardam Muni. And is telling him how he should stay in Grahastha life, how he should stay in a sannyas life. Become Madhyam Adhikari, become Uttam Adhikari. When you become a Uttam Adhikari, what will happen to you? You should travel as a Uttam Adhikari from home to home, city to city, and preach and make people remind the forgetfulness of Krishna. So after coming here, he says, basically now Prabhupada what compares, he compares a sannyasi spiritual master Uttam Adhikari and a Grahastha disciple as a Madhyam Adhikari. And he speaks about the symphony and synthesis between them. Okay, please read Prabhuji.
To award fearlessness to the common man is the greatest act of charity. A sannyasi or one who is in the renounced order of life should wander from door to door, from village to village, from town to town, and from country to country all over the world as far as he is able to travel and enlighten the householder about Krishna consciousness. A person who is a householder but is initiated by a sannyasi has the duty to spread Krishna consciousness at home as far as possible. He could call his friends and neighbors to his house and hold classes in Krishna consciousness. Holding a class means chanting the holy name of Krishna and speaking from Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam. There are immense literature for spreading Krishna consciousness, and it is duty of each and every householder to learn about Krishna from his sannyasi spiritual master. There is a division of a labor in the Lord's service. The householder's duty is to earn money because the sannyasi is not supposed to earn money, but is completely dependent on the householder. The householder should earn money by business or by profession and spend at least 50% of his income to spread Krishna consciousness. 25% he can spend for his family and 25% he should save to meet emergencies. This example was shown by Rupa Goswami. So devotees should follow it. Actually, to be one with Supreme Lord means to be
So now
one.
after telling this thing, that in Grahastha Ashram will show compassion, as a sannyasi will preach fearlessness, and telling how the Grahasthas and a sannyasi guru should have a dependence on each other and preach Krishna consciousness for the benefit of the people. Again, Prabhupada is coming to the third and fourth line, that ekatva manupashyataha. What is that oneness? That is not one, like the Mayavadis say. That is spiritual oneness. Prabhupada is going to speak about this. Yes, Prabhuji. Somebody else can read. I think Prabhuji has read a lot. Shiromani Radhika Mataji, please, can you read?
Yes, Prabhuji. From where should I?
Actually,
To be one with the Supreme Lord means to be one with the interest of the Lord. Becoming one with the Supreme Lord does not imply becoming as great as the Supreme Lord. It is impossible. The part is never equal to the whole. The living entity is always a minute part. Therefore, his oneness with the Lord is that he is interested in the one interest of the Lord. The Lord wants every living entity to always think about him, to be his devotee, and always worship him. This is clearly stated in Bhagavad Gita, Man Manam Bhava Mad Bhakto, Bhagavad Gita 9.34. Krishna wants everyone always to think of him. Everyone should always offer obeisances to Krishna. This is the will of the Supreme Lord, and devotees should try to fulfill his desire. Since the Lord is unlimited, his desire is also unlimited. There is no stoppage, and therefore the service of the devotee is also unlimited. In this transcendental world, there is unlimited competition between the Lord and the servitor. The Lord wants to fulfill his desire unlimitedly, and the devotees also serves him to fulfill his unlimited desires. There is an unlimited oneness of interest between the Lord and his devotee.
so that oneness means that we become devotee and we serve the Lord. And there is competition in the Vaikuntha. This is the oneness. And therefore, that kind of Uttamadikari level, Karda Muni will be able to reach. Therefore, we had to do justice for the section because generally people skip this section. In Upanishad, Ishopanishad also, the devotees skip this section. So, at least when you come to Bhagavatam, at least you should not skip this section. This shows about the Madhyamadikari, Uttamadikari, and that oneness of interest, oneness of source of the Shakti, source of Shakti man. It speaks about it. Yes, now we'll directly read the translation and go ahead. Yes, somebody else. Yashika Mataji, please read this translation.
Translation: O great sage, I shall manifest my own plenary portion through your wife, Dehuti, along with your 9 daughters, and I shall instruct her in the system of philosophy that deals with the ultimate principles or categories.
Basically, he's going to teach, he is going to appear. What his Chakravarti Path says here is, Vad Viryana means Like Krishna appears from the heart of Vasudeva to heart of Devaki. Krishna can appear like that. But in Kapila Deva, he is going to appear is Swarat, Lord is Swarat, so he is appearing as Kala, Swayam Kalaha, Swamsha Kalaya. There are two Amshas. Lord expands into two expansions. One is Vibhina Amsha, that is Jivatma. Swamsha means God, Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Swamsha also there are two things. Swamsha Kalaya and the Swamsha. What is Swamsha Kalaya? It is expansion of the expansion. Lord Krishna expands into Balram. That is Swamsha. Swamsha Kalaya means Lord Balram expands into Shankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Narayana, and all the incarnations. So expansion of the expansion is called as Swamsha Kalaya. Krishna is in the Goloka Vrindavana. Krishna expands into Balram. That is first expansion called as Swamsha. बलराम से जो एक्सपांशन होता है, विस्तारित रूप जो होता है, उसको क्या बोलते हैं? बलराम तक स्वअंश होता है. बलराम से जो नीचे आते हैं उनको बोला जाता है स्वअंश कलया. And living entities are Vibhinna Amsha. So Kapila Devi is Swamsha Kalaya. And Kapila Devi is going to appear from the semen of Kardam Muni into Devuti. Therefore it is told here, O great sage, I shall manifest by my own primary portion through your wife, Sa Viryena. Matlab, along with 9 daughters, how they are going to appear? By your semen. Similarly, I am going to appear through your wife through the semen. The way we take birth. But what is the difference? Janma Karamacha Me Divyam. Kapil Dev is Kapil Dev. Although he may appear through the semen of Kardam Muni, but he is accepting that way because Lord is Swarat. People think Lord cannot appear as semen. Why? Lord can appear because if he wants to appear in a particular way, he can appear. But here it is therefore it is mentioned Swa Amsha Kalaya. And what he will teach? He is going to teach last line Tattva Samhitaha. So Prabhupada speaks about what is Swa Amsha Kalaya, what is Tattva Samhitaha. Swamsha Kalaya speaks about Kapil Dev, is Swamsha Kalaya. Then there are personalities like Narayana, Govinda, Vamana. They are all Swamsha Kala. Balram is Swamsha. Prabhupada speaks about this. And there, what is the difference? Like there is first candle, Krishna, second candle, Balram. So Swamsha Kalaya difference is that the original candle is the original candle. All candle have the same capacity, but the rasas are different. Like Lord is expanding in different forms. He's same. Lord also expands as Grantha, Bhagavatam. Lord also expands as holy name. So therefore, there is no difference between holy name, form. So one should not. Somebody can read this. Mataji, can you read this one?
One should not think that one is worshipping a doll or statue of the Lord, even if others consider it to be a statue, because there is not potential difference. One gets the same result by worshipping the statue of the Lord or the Lord himself. This is the science of Krishna consciousness.
So Prabhupada is giving candle example. Like Krishna is there, Krishna expanding to Balram, Balram expanding into Kapila Dev, and Krishna also expands as deity. Krishna also expands as holy name. So there is no difference between holy name, deity, and Lord. So one should see the omnipotency of the Lord. That is one thing being spoken here. And second thing, Tattva Samhita. So Kapil Dev is going to speak about Sankhya. There are two types of Sankhya. One is Nastik Sankhya. His name is also Kapila. And another is Astik Sankhya or Theistic Sankhya, which is Lord himself. This is meaning of Tattva Samhita here. Next transition, Mataji, please continue.
Translation. Maitre went on, thus having spoken to Kadam Muni, the Lord, who reveals himself only when the senses are in Krishna consciousness, departed from the lake called Bindu Sarovara, which was encircled by the river Saraswati.
Yes. So now Prabhupada speaks about this Prayag Akshaja. Lord who appeared to Kardama's eyes, he departed from the hermitage surrounded by Saraswati river. Somebody else? Okay, all videos are off. Yes, Sachin Prabhu, please read this one. Prabhupada is going to ask the question, and Prabhupada is going to answer the question also.
One word in this word is very significant. The Lord is stated to be
Pratyek Akshaja.
Pratyek Akshaja. He is imperceptible to material senses, but still he can be seen. This appears to be contradictory. We have material senses, but how can we see the Supreme Lord? He is para-adopted, which means that he cannot be seen by the material senses. Akshaja means knowledge perceived by material senses, because the Lord is not an object that can be understood by speculation with our material senses. He is also
Okay.
called
What the
Ajiva.
question is, हमारे इंद्रिया भौतिक है, तो भौतिक इंद्रिय से हम भगवान को देख नहीं सकते, तो फिर प्रत्येक अक्षज कर्दम मुनि कैसे देख पाए? हम भगवान को कैसे देख सकते हैं अपनी इंद्रियों से? फिर प्रत्येक अपने कर्दम मुनि ने अपने इंद्रियों से भगवान को देखा, प्रत्येक अक्षज. बट लॉर्ड इज नॉट मटेरियल. हाउ कुड ही सी? आंसर इज told here. Can you read this? It is explained. It is explained.
It is explained that no one can hear the transcendental name of Krishna, no one can understand his transcendental form, and no one can assimilate his transcendental pastimes. It is not possible. Then how is it possible that he can be seen and understood?
So he can be
when
seen. Sri Krishna Namadi na bhavet graham indraye sevan mukhe hi chivado swayam eva spuritva. The holy name, form, person of the Lord are spiritual. Somebody who, when one is trained in devotional service and renders service unto the him, gradually हमारे दूषित इंद्रिय जो है वो वृत्ति में है, वो सेवा वृत्ति उत्पन्न होगा उसमें, और वो शुद्ध होने के बाद हम शुद्ध इंद्रियों से भगवान को देख पाएंगे, भगवान को सुन पाएंगे और भगवान को समझ पाएंगे. लास्ट पढ़िए ब्लू में.
the purification of the material senses and perception of the transcendental form, name, and quality of Krishna are combined together in one word, Pratyaga Akshaja, which is used here.
Although we have material senses, it's not that with material senses we cannot see the Lord. We can see the Lord, but we have to purify our senses. It becomes purified, then we can see the Lord. So it's already 4:30. If any of you have any questions, we will take it, or we will stop now. Any questions? Any comments? Hope it is understandable to all of you. Although it is a different theme, but somehow I'm trying to put my best to make it relatable to all of us. So we'll continue the 34th shloka next week. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, उपस्थित गौर भक्तवृंद की जय.